Assalamu alaikum and good day. I'm Azra Hoosen and welcome to Voices of the Nation, KZN edition, a 2024 Radio Islam SA election special. As South Africa stands on the cusp of another pivotal general election, I'm stepping out into the streets, engaging directly with the KZN community to hear their thoughts, concerns and hopes for the future. Coming elections just around the corner, I want to know from you, what are the main issues that are influencing your voting decision?
I think this is the most important elections ever in this country, because the country is in a very compromising position. And if we make the wrong choice now, at the end of the next 5 years, there will be infrastructural disaster in this country. My choice is based on saving the country.
Right. Do you trust the promises that are being made by the political candidates during their campaigns?
You cannot trust the ruling party because they haven't fulfilled anything. If you look at the history and the previous promises, actually they fulfill the opposite. In regard to trusting the candidate, remember in an election, the person will say anything to get elected. But you have to understand the track record of the party. I don't intend to vote for a new party because of the risks involved. I look at the track record. So if the candidate is a failure after the elections, I am hoping that a good party will replace him.
Students now who are voting for the first time, what advice would you give them?
I have been discussing it with them, and I've given them my opinion. Ultimately, it's a choice, like in all democracies, to choose your party. And the students have approached me. It is a reality. I cannot stifle their opinions and their views. So my opinion was to choose a party that has a good track record, choose a party that has delivered somewhere, and preferably a party that is not new. We can't risk the country at this stage. I think the country is at its most dangerous point, more so than the 1994 election.
And as a student, David, I know unemployment is a huge concern to you. I want to know from you, how important is a party's stance on job creation in determining your vote?
I think the party that I'm voting for needs to really emphasize job creation, especially for the youth. And what I'd like to see is maybe expansion on current industries or even introduction of new industries into our country, so that we as young people, as students, have opportunities upon the conclusion of our degrees or certificates, whatever it may be.
What changes would you like to see in South Africa over the next few years?
Well, in the next few years, I think I'd like to see our current problems being addressed. So that would be electricity supply, water supply, even pollution management. We in Durban we don't even trust our own oceans. So I think just sticking with the problems that we have now, fixing those problems would be a great step in the right direction for the future.
How do you think political parties can better engage with voters?
Well, what are most people on these days? Everyone's on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I feel like it would be really beneficial if the parties reach their voters via the media that they're most involved in. Advertise what you're doing in the communities, advertise your campaigns, your views, and then just make everything more accessible for the voter so that they can make a more informed decision.
What changes would you like to see in South Africa over the next few years?
Well, at the top of my head, my biggest concern being a student right now is employment. How will I fare in the job market come next year when I graduate? Which of the parties are going to afford me the opportunity to excel in the field?
Okay, and have you voted before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so this year, are you considering voting for a different political party?
Yes.
You are, okay. And so what changed your decision?
Well, no matter the party, ultimately you're going to run into the same issues. There's corruption, there's all these, everyone has their own propaganda, their own agenda, and it's tough to navigate that. It's no more a bid for the favor of the country, but it's a power struggle.
Mr. Ahmed, and I would like to know from you, how important is the party's stance on Israel's war in Gaza to your voting decision?
Look, I think it does feature in the decision for choosing my vote or placing my vote. But of course, in the hierarchy of requirements, I wouldn't place it right on top. Obviously, we're in this country. There are some pressing issues in this country that need to be addressed. The issues of education, because I'm an educationist, the issue of safety, security, healthcare, those are all pressing issues that we want our government to serve us in the first instance. And then, of course, our whole stance, not only on Palestine, but the entire foreign policy of the government we choose, has direct implications on the quality of life we lead and the moral stance and ethical leadership that we require in this country. So certainly will, but I don't think it's going to be on the topmost priorities in terms of the hierarchy.
Okay, you mentioned a number of issues. How well do you think the local issues in your area are being addressed? What changes would you like to see in your community?
You know, we are so blessed with such a beautiful country. We have so many resources. And I think South Africans deserve a better life. We have all the resources. We have intellectual capacity. We have financial resources. And I think if we get the right people to lead us, we can be amongst the best countries in the world. And so we're looking for a new approach, a new set of leadership, ethical leadership that can make sure that they place the needs of the community ahead of their own selfish needs. And I think this can be a great country.
As we head closer to voting day, in terms of safety and security, have you noticed people being more concerned about their safety? How and why?
I've noticed by people coming into store and stocking up on ammunition for their paintball markers, used more for self-defense purposes. So they've been stocking up on pepper rounds, solid rounds, nylon rounds. They've stocked up on their gas canisters as well. A lot of people putting more CCTV on their properties as well.
People have been getting up because of looting and protests. So they've been taking these security measures to protect themselves at home and at work, and using these measures to keep up with the current trends.
Whether it's about economic challenges, social justice, or governance, every voice matters. Stay tuned to Radio Islam. This is your platform, your voice, your election special.